Well, welcome Oregon Trail Council to our Fireside Chat. We're gonna have a good time tonight as usual. You can see that Sandy Munoz and I are out where scouting happens. Rush is out where scouting happens. Thank you very much. It's just a gentle reminder that's where we got to be. The special guest tonight is Kelly Brown from up in the great Benton District. What's the new name of the district? Do you know?
We haven't decided yet.
Not yet, huh? Okay. More on that soon. Oh, and Scott just joined from the outdoors as well. Thank you, Scott, representing the brand, as it were. That's good stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get to Kelly in just a minute, but let's talk with Scott if you don't mind. Scott, where are we from a council standpoint? I'd love to hear about that.
We're located at 2525 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Yeah, that's the view out your window, right?
Yeah. Actually, just a couple of updates. I know a lot of people on the Zoom meeting tonight were able to join us for our auction, which happened, the live portion of it happened on Friday night of last week. And basically from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock, and then the silent auction ended at officially ended on Sunday at 8 o'clock, and it was interesting because it was our first time doing it virtually, and we just didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what it was going to look like because we hadn't been through it before, and all in all, although we had some glitches in the system, all the issues we had were fixable, and I think people had some good time. I will tell you, we know going forward that the silent auction, to go virtually for the silent auction or online for the silent auction is the way to go. I really think people enjoyed doing that. There might have been a couple of people that were really, trying to time their purchases on Sunday evening, maybe even a couple on the call that might have been bidding against each other. And there may have been some bad feelings related to that, but those two are going to have to deal with it. So Jim and shake hands and be nice to each other going forward.
Eat your heart out, Jim.
I do have to say thank you to Jim, because Jim was the one that at one point we weren't showing who you were bidding against. And Jim said, that might be kind of fun to see who you're bidding against. And I may say, I'll be darned if Randy's going to buy that. I'm going to bid him up, or I'm going to purchase that so Randy doesn't get it. And I think
that's exactly what I said.
Pardon?
That's exactly what I said, Scott.
And I think it created a lot of fun. So great. I will tell you that initially we've been doing about anywhere between 60 and I think our best year was about 80,000 net from our auction. To go virtual, we adjusted our budget, and expectations were to net about $40,000 off the virtual auction, and we are going to net somewhere around the $50,000 mark. So great success, good program. We know some things that we will do different, but I hope everybody that got on and enjoyed it. Some great scout items along with other items, just fun for everybody to be a part of. So that's it on the auction. I will say that the golf tournament is coming up on October 5th. So that's Monday, a week from this coming Monday. October 5th is our golf tournaments at Eugene Country Club. And we still have room for plenty of golfers. If you know any golfers that might be interested, the Eugene Country Club is a fantastic course. And there's a lot of people that just don't have the opportunity to pay or to play the Eugene Country Club. One of the people that was on our virtual auction was down in Coos Bay, and as we were talking about people that might want to play, when I delivered packages on Tuesday, he had a couple of packages related to golf. So I called him up and said, hey, have you ever played the Eugene Country Club? And he says, no, but I always found it intriguing that I'd like to at some point. I said, I've got a great opportunity for you. if you'd like to play, come play in our tournament and send them the information. Hopefully they'll have the opportunity to do so. If not this year, at least maybe going forward, he might have the opportunity to. But that's a fundraiser for us as well. As you all know, revenue stream this year has been a little bit different from most years, without a whole lot of events, without summer camps. We're able to do these 2 fundraisers, maybe in a different way, but we're at least able to do them this year. And it helps tremendously the council's budget overall. So again, if you know anybody, please send them our way. Do want to mention that as of right now, we are looking at November 7th to do a council-wide scouting for food. I just sent an email to the Eugene Salvation Army to talk about working with them again this year. And we've talked about it in past meetings, I think, about we think we know ways that we can do it, still meet the state standards, and in addition to meeting the state standards, do it in a safe fashion. I will mention that as of right now, it's November 7th, scheduled for November 7th. I did see that today, the presidents of the universities in the Pac-12 decided to play football this year. And that starts at the beginning of November, I believe. So at this point, I don't know what the schedule looks like. I don't know if Oregon or Oregon State has a game. It's more than likely that they won't have fans in the stadium. And if that's the case, it may not be that big of a conflict. So we'll keep everybody posted on that, but we are working on making that happen, not only to help provide program for our units, but also to help out our community, especially in this time where we've got a big need. The only other thing I will mention is, at this point, I may pipe in later so that Randy doesn't have to remove his cap. And I will mention that we are in the midst of getting ready for rechartering season. And, if there's any units out there that haven't been active, I really encourage you to get active and start scouting. We're going to be asking all of our families to pay their dues for next year, or pay their membership dues for next year. And if they haven't been scouting in the last 6 months, it's going to be a tough call to make. So get them active, get them out there and doing things. But this year, rather than going live on October 1st, we'll be going live on November 1st. Randy and Rob and I have chatted about it a little bit. We've chatted with some other people, and our push is going to be, it opens up on November 1st. We want those charters in by November 25th. If you haven't looked at your calendar, November 26th is Thanksgiving. And it's always been a challenge in the past. And I know that only leaves you about, 3.5 weeks? But you can get it done in 2 hours to 4 hours if you really know what you're doing and work at it. And the longer it lingers out there, the more you tend to put it off. So I think that's plenty of time to get it done. And reality is, I'll be honest with you, what I've seen, every council I've been in, if we don't have it by Thanksgiving, we'll get some stragglers in, but the next time people really take a look at it and do a push is in January. And it's due by the end of, it's due sooner than that. So that's what we're going to push. That's the time frame, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that as we get closer to November 1st, and we'll get the information out to everybody as well. So Randy,
thanks.
Jim's question, I think that's it for me.
So I noticed that Sandra did a really nice post on the golf tournament, but what I suggest that she does is that she lets her boss know, Scott, that Roseburg and Benton, I understand, have golf courses too. And maybe if those people don't want to travel all that distance, they might have a golf tournament at those golf courses too. What do you think, Sandra? Is that something we could do?
Yeah.
No pressure.
About it.
I know Tony has a good relationship with the Benton Dunes here. I'm just going to throw that bone out there, you guys. But with the owner of Benton Dunes, I know that he resides in Chicago, and I think that'd be a great idea. I know we talked about doing something like that in regards like that in the past. So, yeah.
Yeah, Benton might be tough to schedule. I'm not sure how many tournaments they do there, but definitely I've talked to some people down in Roseburg about the possibility of doing a golf tournament at the Roseburg Country Club. I've actually played the course, not well, but I've played the course.
Well, I did read an article today, Scott, that the center of the universe is not Eugene, Oregon. So just throwing that out there.
Well,
it's a big council, dude.
Whoever wrote the article wasn't from Eugene then. No, you know, Jim, to be honest with you, the feedback I got back was that they have several tournaments, and that maybe even like a fishing derby might be something that would go just as well in Douglas County. So we've looked at that. We've looked at trying to do some new things in other parts of the council as well.
Sounds good. Let's get to tonight's real topic, if you don't mind. I appreciate all the talk about the other stuff. And Rush, nobody said anything about your donation for the auction, but thank you very much. Rush, thanks for the auction donation. That was awfully kind of you. And we'll look forward to some more of that in the future. Yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
You're welcome.
Say also, Rush, not only thank you for that, but thank you for your help. Rush helped out the people that were at the evacuation center here and did a great job of getting some people involved with that and helping out over there. So Rush, thank you very much for taking that on. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. We enjoyed it.
Awfully good stuff. Big hand, right? Okay. Kelly Brown.
You ready?
Tell us about what's happening on the northern extremes of the Great Oregon Trail Council. It's currently known as Benton District, but that's about to improve as time goes by, right?
Yes.
Take it away, brother.
Okay. So I am the district chair for Benton District. And so I asked my other two members of my key three, both of whom are on the phone tonight, for their ideas of, what do we do great or what have we done in Benton District? And they said, one of the best things is we got a new district chair. And so I'm not sure I agree with that, but it turns out I was the head of the nominating committee, and we just went down through the list of people to be nominated. And pretty soon I was the only one left in the room. So that's how it turned out. So as Randy mentioned, Benton and Yaquina are going to combine into one district. And we were going to open up a naming suggestion contest, but there were actually people in Yaquina that had to evacuate because of fires up in Lincoln City in that area. So we decided to put that off for a little bit. So if anybody here on the call has suggestions, my suggestion is like coast to valley, put like a number 2 in the middle, make it kind of edgy. But I'm sure there's a lot better suggestions than that. Some of the other things we've been doing in Benton, the council roundtable is now largely hosted by Benton and Yaquina folks. So they've stepped up to a higher level, to a council level, to take on roles and do the council roundtables. So we've got some good people that have been recognized and have been seen and are now working at the council level. We had recently a virtual Pinewood Derby. And so, you could take your car in, and so this is for recruiting, it's for getting youth involved. And so you take your car in, and then it's basically a Pinewood Derby via Zoom. And so, they run the race and figure out who wins, and then you come pick your car up at the end. So, we're having to do things a little differently. We normally have a regular district Pinewood Derby, as I'm sure all the other districts do as well. But this year we wanted to have one, and so we ended up having a virtual Pinewood Derby. So the other thing is, again, for recruiting, is we're going to have in-person den meetings, and this is mainly for those that are looking to join scouting, and so for them to come try it out. And so hoping to start that in mid-October. And so that will be Sherry and others hosting that as well. So hopefully, and I'll let Sherry chime in, 2 to 4 times a week, just a half hour to an hour, just have a den meeting and invite those prospective Cub Scouts to come. Have the social distancing and everything. So, it's safe. And there would be a limit, like 5 Cub Scouts at a time. So you can space them out and still be, like I say, the social distancing, still be safe. And so that's, one recruiting idea that we're going to try to put into place. So we are recruiting for all levels in scouting. So one of the things that we talked about, and it kind of got squashed because students came back to OSU and a number of them got the virus. And so we had to clamp down on a lot of social activities in Benton. But one of the things we were going to do is kind of a flash mob type thing where scouts just start showing up at a public park. And the one we were planning is they start hauling in rain gutters and build this long rain gutter regatta. And as people milling about the park, hopefully get some Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, or potential Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, get them interested, get them to come over and see, what are you doing? And so this would be just an opportunity to be out in the public and show the public what scouts are like. So, a rain gutter regatta, if you think traditionally, you go in and you blow on the boat to make it go down to the end. Some of the other options are a handheld fan. And so, you have your fan and again, we space people out differently. And I saw one of the comments, how do you blow on it with a mask? And that's a good point. That's a good question. So there's got to be different ways that we can get that.
The flash mob itself is cool.
Yeah, it's just an idea I've had. I've seen others, like when they come together and play a concert in the middle of the city or something. And so I thought, why can't scouts do that? Because I really want to see scouts out in public so that the public can see, this is what we do. And these are some of the cool things we do. And so I thought a rain gutter regatta. So if our restrictions are lifted in this county in time, before the weather gets bad, then, it might be a good opportunity still to do that if it's at all possible. And so, and you can extend that and think about other ways you can do something like that. And so, there's a lot of opportunities, not just rain gutter regatta, but we can come in and, maybe somebody carry a tent or something, and just have it in a park where families are, maybe aren't aware or are aware of scouting, but we're out there in the public. And so that's something that we're trying to do or trying to get together. And then also in our district, not necessarily for recruiting, but we've got an annual meeting coming up in October. And so, do our planning and finally get together our annual meeting. So, this is an opportunity. As I mentioned at the beginning, we had a nominating committee. But now, the nominating committee is kind of falling apart. So really trying to get another nominating committee, get some names, because one of the things that we struggle with is filling every one of our positions in the district. And one thing I'm adamant about is I don't want to take people away from the units to fill in the districts because, you know, I think those unit positions are very, very important. You know, those are the ones that are right with the Cub Scouts, the Scouts BSA, the Ventures. And so, so there's, you know, there's different, different people or different things that we can do. And so one of my big things as district chair is really trying to tap into people that maybe were previous scouters or maybe are not scouters at all, maybe are community members that would be interested in filling a committee chair position or a committee at large position so they can help us out. So I'm really trying to get, you know, that whole slate filled, and hopefully we can get the nominating committee going and get some candidates to talk about. So, and then the last thing I'll mention is we're really got an emphasis on training right now. And so both the hands-on, those that work directly with scouts, and those, you know, on the district committee, make sure everybody is trained. And I've got a great training chairman, Jay Scheit, in my district now. And so, so I'm hopeful that we'll get our numbers up and, you know, we'll get people trained. So that's about what I had. I'll just throw it out to questions. Like I say, the other two of my key three are here, so they can contradict anything that I said incorrectly or support me in any way. But any questions or any thoughts or ideas that anybody on this call has?
Any other thoughts out there about the flash mob idea? That just seems to have real potential. Short, sweet, to the point, get in, get out, you know, get on with your business. And I know down in Roseburg, there's all kinds of opportunity for such things, as well as in Lane County. But it just seems to have some interesting dynamic attached to it. You know, something that you could do with, you know, 10 people real quick. Yeah. With a whole lot of build up to get there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Randy. I actually think that one thing y'all might want to consider utilizing is all the kids are using Snapchat. They talked about it back when I was working for the council. I know for a fact now I'm a grade school teacher. They're all using it. You can do a custom frame for it where it will say Oregon Trail Council BSA, and they can post it to a geographical location as opposed to their own thing. So I don't know what type of competition that would look like, but that would abide by the social distancing. And when any of their friends clicked on that general location on the Snapchat map, it could be flooded, say, Friday nights at 6 p.m. with 200 scouts posting photos of them doing scouting things, along with the contact info to the council.
Is that something, Christian, that you might be interested in helping us with? At least show how that works? That would be,
if you shoot me an email or a text to remind me.
Or a Snapchat.
Or Snapchat, yeah.
No, I'm not so active on it. I'm just very aware.
Exactly. And in terms of kid involvement, that would be very useful, you know, because they use a different medium than adults do. Adults are primarily on Facebook. It just is what it is.
Right.
But, the kids, it depends on who your audience is for sure. So that's an interesting little idea right there. Both of them. Yeah. Jim, what do you think about the great Roseburg arena? Yeah, I kind of had to dissuade Kelly from naming the new district up there, the Roseburg district. He didn't think that was a good idea.
I thought it was a great idea, actually.
I had an idea for a name, but Sherry didn't like it.
Share it,
well,
share it.
Actually, you know what I thought? I thought it should be? It's right in the center of the district. It probably, with what happened in Lincoln City, has a different meaning now, but I thought Burnt Woods.
That's not very funny.
Good.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
We could just say,
Yeah.
shorten it up and just say burnt.
Burnt woods. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Jim, any other guerrilla marketing ideas you can think of? Because that's an interesting concept, both of those things you talked about, Kelly.
Yeah, you're on mute.
It just sounds fascinating.
I said every Thursday, on the third Thursday of every month when I go to Costco, I wear my uniform, but I'm the only one there in uniform. So it's kind of awkward, but, you know, could work. Now that I know about Snapchat, you know.
You have to have two of you on Snapchat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two of you on each end of Snapchat, right? That's the way that works. Very good. Any other thoughts on Kelly's marketing ideas? Oh, Sandy, you got something going on there. I can tell. She can't talk about it. Very interesting. Any other thoughts out there for Kelly? What about you, Phil? You introduced me to the marketing things that you guys are doing in Corvallis, and that was what stirred my thoughts here. Anything that you would like to expand on that we might be able to employ across the rest of the council? We're gonna have to hold up a sign that says.
Hey, Phil, you turned off your mic instead of turning it on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we actually had a meeting on Memorial Day and met downtown, and it was Sherry and Hector, who's the council recruiting person who happens to live in Corvallis, and then Kelly. We all met and kind of brainstormed about recruiting. And let's see, I'll turn my page, and we did some brainstorming and came up with about 4 different things we could do for recruiting. So here's some other ideas besides the rain gutter. Regatta. Flash mob was a pumpkin carving contest, stomp rockets, some kind of event at the Troop 3 cabin. Yeah, so I think there's, especially with Halloween coming up, the whole pumpkin carving thing will be front and center. That might attract some kids, and there's farms around here that might be willing to donate. So yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So
Any other pumpkin derby? How does that work?
Put wheels on the pumpkin.
Oh, Huh. Interesting concept. Very good.
As the resident 12-year-old of this call,
You're not the
I'm
only
gonna
one.
throw out the idea of utilizing both what I said with Snapchat, but also TikTok. So I'm not a huge fan of the app. I know we all may have our opinions, period. But the thing is it has viral dances that are being shared on every other platform. While a handful of them are inappropriate, some totally aren't. And generally included on them is some series of commentary on whatever. In this case, it could be branding for scouts. And if you had scouts even doing these viral challenges and hashtagging their location while in uniform, all of a sudden kids their ages are looking at the same thing and seeing kids in scout uniforms doing cool things.
I think that's a great idea because my kids all invest in TikTok. So I do think I agree with you as far as branding for the Boy Scouts. So yeah, definitely for sure. I think that's something that, going forward, that should be something that we should invest into.
We just need a 12-year-old to help us through it, Christian.
Well,
I've got you, Sherry. I think Sherry and I need to get lunch soon. We talked about that anyway.
Yeah, wait on it. Just call me. Call me.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we just have some old 12-year-olds in here.
So I would be willing to do a dance with Jim Wiley on TikTok. It's only 15 seconds, so we could pull it off.
I don't know if Jim.
And those types of things go viral.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you two were in a uniform doing one of the popular dances, I guarantee you it would get a ton of regional attention.
I
All
like
right,
it.
Scott, you're on. We get Scott Imcoven up there. What do you say, huh? Yeah.
If Scott does it, I'll buy him a beverage outside a uniform.
There you go.
Randy?
Yeah, you can have one of Jim's beverages. Yeah.
Probably do it before the dance. Then the dance would go better.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, we're 5 minutes after the hour, folks. I appreciate it. Any other thoughts, comments we'd like to share before we move on to our other lives?
I was in response to Christian's challenge, I would just mention, Christian, I just got to say, if I were to do a dance on TikTok, it would probably turn more people off to scouting than it would turn them on to scouting. So
It's the ironic join, Scott. They exist.
Randy, just a couple thoughts, kind of throwbacks. No TikTok here, but you know, when you
TikTok is here.
when you used to go and visit Cub Scout packs that met maybe in a public school cafeteria, you know, there in the cafeteria up on the wall would be a little sign, you know, maybe just, you know, 10 by 12. And it said something like, Pack 1 meets here Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, I don't know that the supply division sells those signs anymore, but we're still meeting places and like churches and so forth, in community rooms, you know, in fire halls. And to place those signs is inexpensive and probably not much resistance from sponsors. So, you know, that's just a thought. There, you know, I don't know that there's anything that prevents us from as a council from producing something like that, even if I think they used to be metal, you know, and, you know, with screws, but maybe they're just cardboard back signs that could be framed, you know, and hung. Just a thought, you know, in prior years, we've had the lawn signs, and with the council website or phone number to call for information about scouting, you know, those might be effective. But I've often thought that a sign like that said something to the effect, scout meeting here tonight, in front of a church, where you just put it out during the meeting and take it back in, so that everybody driving by sees that there's scouting is going on there at that church, you know. Maybe it has the phone number or whatever on it, but you know, another thing that maybe we just haven't really ever thought of is that every time we do an Eagle Scout service project, it's been almost 50 years now since the National Council said that the Eagle Scout service project should be for the community, not on scouting properties, you know, or for scouting. But in 50 years, how many times has an Eagle candidate had a sandwich board or some kind of sign out there exhibiting to the community while his helpers are working on the project, you know, by the nearest roadway, something that says something to the effect, Troop 1, Eagle Scout Service Project in progress, you know, so that everybody in the community is seeing that these things are happening. So, you know, I just throw out that there's still things we could do with old-fashioned signs to get it out there that scouting is active, doing some good. Just something to think about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's probably some things that we're just overlooking, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I think there's several of us that would be very interested in developing that set of ideas again, and making use of them. So we've got time for one more comment, and then we need to run. Bill?
This was an ad in the Savvy Shopper. You can see that.
Yeah.
It's went to like basically all Corvallis residences in the U.S. mail, and it's actually a scouting ad. I thought it was really cool. I bet Sherry had something to do with that.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks
Yeah.
good. Okay. Well, thank you very much, folks, for coming. I hate to cut this off, but we've all got other lives to get into. Scott, you got one more chance to give us some words of wisdom.
Yeah, and I don't have any.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I was going back to your comment just before that we all have other lives to go to, and I was dumbfounded by that. So.
All right. One more chance. 12-year-old. Give us some words of wisdom from a 12-year-old. Our youngest 12-year-old in the room.
The youngest one. Okay, so I
The
assume
youngest
that's me.
12-year-old. Yeah.
Not positive. The the last thought that I've got here is actually about QR codes. I messaged Rob a little something about them, but I love Rush's idea of signs. The other thing I'll throw out there, so like I said, I'm teaching this year and I'm doing the whole CDL thing. It's all online. It's super easy for us to include hyperlinks and QR codes on our Canvas pages or Google Meets. And I know for a fact in Benton District, at least, we had a handful of educators on the team. And I imagine that's probably going to be the case across council. So if we can get into the teacher, it's very easy to circumvent both the district and principal. Now that we're doing the online thing, they can throw it on their page and ask for forgiveness if they need to. Because if I was in Benton County, I would be doing that on my classroom page right now.
That sounds good.
Like the way that young man thinks. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about what we can do, not what we can't do. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let's move on. Rush, thank you very much. Kelly, thank you. Everybody, thank you for being here. And Carrie, I appreciate that you've got a big wood badge course coming up. That's hot stuff. Keep on driving. There's room for 72 out there, right? Very good.
Yep.
All right.
We'll do it.
We'll see you same bat time, same bat channel next Thursday, is it? Yeah. Next Thursday. Yeah, we got one more Thursday. Thanks a bunch. We will see you pretty soon. That's a wrap.